Moving on, eye retouching. We're going to go next to brightening the eyes and redness removal. We're going to click on the brighten eyes layer, and we're going to click on the mask part of the layer, and we're going to be painting over the eye. And let me click on my paintbrush tool here, and I'm going to be painting with white. As you can see over here in the layers palette on this mask, the mask is black. Black conceals, white reveals. So click on the mask part, make sure that in my foreground and background colors down here that my foreground color is white. If for some reason, if you were doing something else and you had a funny color or something picked as your foreground color, well, because I'm on the mask, it made that color that I just picked, it made it gray. If for some reason you didn't have white here in the foreground, if you click the letter D for default on your keyboard, it makes your foreground color white and your background color black. Those are the default foreground and background colors. So you just click the letter D, and so now we're going to be painting with white, and we're just supposed to paint on this brighten eye layer. We're just supposed to paint on the eye itself, the whites of the eyes, the iris, the pupil, everything that's actual eye. We don't want to get too much of the skin. In this case, because the eyelashes are so dark, it doesn't matter if we go over the eyelashes as well. But we're just concentrating on going over just the eye itself. Okay. So what that done is just brightened up the eye for us. And I'll click the layer off for you to see here. That's before, that's after. See how I just made the eye nice and bright? Okay, next thing we're going to do is get rid of some of this excess redness over here. We don't want to get rid of it completely, but we're just going to get rid of it a little bit. So our action created this nice layer up here called redness removal, and we're going to use that layer. So I just clicked on the redness removal layer, and again I'm going to click on the mask. And what this layer is, actually, just so you know what's going on behind the scenes, it's a hue saturation layer where I've gone in and I've desaturated just the reds. And to actually see what I've done, we're going to have to paint on the mask. Again, we're going to be painting with white, and we're just going to paint over the whites of the eyes, anywhere where it's a little bit too red, and we want to get rid of the bloodshot of the eyes, the redness, bloodshot. Ew, that really sounds terrible, doesn't it? We'll just say the redness of the eyes. Okay, so I'm just now painting. Again, I am painting with white down here, foreground color white, and I am painting just over. And actually, I can paint as much as I want because on this redness removal layer, I have actually adjusted the opacity of the layer down to 65%, and in the adjustment part, I have dropped down, if you look here under reds, I've dropped the reds down to -61. I didn't take it down all the way, so it's going to look fairly natural. Okay, let's go back here to our layers, and back here on the redness removal layer, just make sure we got all the red areas that we want to affect. Okay, we've gotten rid of the red bloodshot part of the eye. I'm going to turn that little layer eyeball off to see. So that was before, that's after. So we've left some because we don't want her to look like she's made of plastic. We want it to look real, but just a little bit better. Okay, so we've done brighten eyes and we've done redness removal. We're going to move on up here to the pupil and the iris next. So we're going to continue eye retouching with the pupil and the iris.